Hey guys, so the next topic that we want to talk about in Ramble as I Ramble, or I suppose I should start saying welcome back to the channel. I always keep forgetting that sometimes people aren't necessarily following these in sequence. So we'll see how it goes. Anyway, so welcome back to Ramble as I Ramble. Just to give you an idea, I'm Steve. I'm a former Royal Marines Commando officer. And I just decided that what I wanted to do, currently I'm a personal trainer, and I'm also building or co-writing a book about men's health and building an app about men's health. But anyway, that's by the by. So all I thought that I would do is the Ramble as I Ramble is me sitting down and chatting about things, him as he goes along and does his own thing. That's stuffing. Anyway, so Ramble as I Ramble is me talking about stuff that is of interest to me, but also could be of interest to you or other men over 40 who are looking to make a difference in their lives and looking to progress things as they go along. So what I thought that we would talk about is how about we talk about the subject of training for life as opposed to training for ego. Those are two very, very different things that you want to be doing and approaching as you go along and train and start getting fit for life. One of those things that at some point you'll hit something in your life that just shows you that you're getting older, that you don't bounce as much or as high as you used to. Merlin, come on. You don't. Mine was when I slipped on some grass whilst running the dog about 3-4 years ago and tore my semimembranosus muscle off the bone, which is one of the hamstring muscles. I tore the insertion out off the bone, which led to a 4-hour operation and a number of months of rehabilitation. So it just proved to me that actually I don't bounce as well as I used to. I can't train to the same intensity that I did, say for example, when I went to do SF selection when I was 26 years old. That was probably the time when I was at my fittest and my strongest. But surprisingly, I didn't have a six-pack. The only time I ever had a six-pack was when I was 36 years old and I had to do a diet in order to get a six-pack. So anyway, that is aesthetic training and it's slightly different. So the way that you approach training when you're doing it for lifestyle is very, very different to the way that you approach training when you're doing it for ego. Ego is that I have to be the fittest, I have to be the strongest, I have to come first. The lifestyle training is I need to make sure that I can be doing this for many, many years to come. I don't want to cause injuries because injuries will set you back, and they can set you back markedly because your time to recover will increase and increase and increase. And this is where we start talking about situations or subjects like sarcopenia. And those of you who haven't heard about sarcopenia is a natural aging process, and it's related to the reduction in testosterone as we get older. But that's a whole other piece, and that's certainly one of the things that I talk about in the book that I'm co-writing at the moment, which is all about andropause. But anyway, sarcopenia is basically the loss of approximately 50% of your muscle mass and 50% of your strength between the ages of 40 and 70. So that's what happens, is basically from the age of 40 all the way through to 70. If you do nothing, you will automatically lose 50% of your muscle mass and obviously 50% of your strength. And those are very, very important things for you to keep in mind. So what tends to happen is people will try and just suddenly jump into the gym and start training. So they'll start doing the beach muscles. So they'll start pushing the heaviest bench press that they can. They'll start doing bicep curls as heavy as they can. And 9 times out of 10, and all in my years of 35 years of being an instructor, I've noticed that people always, when they go heavy, do bicep curls incorrectly. They always do the easy bit, which is that last bit there. So from there to there, that's the easy bit. And it means that they can lift the heaviest weight and their ego remains intact. Whereas if they actually do the full range, so go from full extension to full contraction, full extension to full contraction, they're working the full range of the muscle, and then throughout the muscle's range, you've got strength. Also, if you keep doing it short with heavy muscle, with heavy weights, you're going to get adaptive shortening, which means you're going to end up like this. So as you walk along, you're walking as if you're carrying carpets or delivering televisions. All right, so lifestyle training, as opposed to ego training, is more about making sure that you're doing the training correctly, that you're actually not just concentrating on the beach muscles, that you're doing all the other muscles. So you're doing the back of the shoulders, you're starting to do the lower back, the erector spinae, which is all part and parcel of the core work. You're also not forgetting or skipping leg day, which we all know. We've all spoken about people who skip leg day. That's not the way ahead. So lifestyle as opposed to ego, making sure that if you're training throughout the week, we split the muscle groups throughout the week. You don't just keep going, okay, do bench, keep doing bench, keep doing bench, keep doing bench. We need to start thinking about all the others to counteract the bench. And they work on the front of the chest, or the front of the thorax. You need to do the back. So you're doing pull exercises, and that works the back. You're then doing legs, you're doing core, you do biceps, you then do triceps, because you need to get that antagonistic piece balanced. So your triceps are as strong as your biceps, although the triceps will always be a stronger muscle. It's the nature of how it is. Excuse me. So you also need to make sure that proportionally they are correctly proportioned for strength. And again with the chest, and again when you're doing the legs, you don't just do quad, you do hamstring, glutes, because the glutes play part in the hip hinge, and that also allows you to make sure that you don't have a tightness in the lower back. And again, that's one of the other things that will then cause you to slow down as you're getting older. So making sure that you actually keep an eye on flexibility, and flexibility in the hips and flexibility in the lower back are an essential part of what you need to be doing, which is why some people do yoga and Pilates. Those are very, very good for encouraging core strength. So then we'll turn around and go back up. Come on. So here he comes. Where is he? There he is. Dutifully following along. And the reason why I decided I wanted to make sure that these rambles are productive. All right, so that's the key thing that you need to start thinking about. After 40, make sure that your training is lifestyle based. Because a few months ago, I did a program for a guy who's over 80, who's been doing a lot of cycling, and he's fit, he's healthy, but he knew that he needs to incorporate resistance work into his training. And so that's what we did. I saw him in the gym this morning and said hello. All right, so lifestyle as opposed to ego. Ego's great, and you can still look good with lifestyle training. Okay, and that then you need to incorporate some aspects of nutrition in that as well, because it's all about muscle, body fat percentages and the like. But you can still look healthy and good with lifestyle training. But it also means that you can do more activities if you do lifestyle training after the age of 40, or even definitely after the age of 50, because you cannot lift the same weights that you could when you're in your 20s. It's a simple piece. At some point, you need to accept that your body is aging and that you are changing. The grey hair starts to appear. It starts to get thinner, God forbid. But I just avoid looking at the back of my head for those thinning spots. But anyway, that was the whole idea of this, guys, was just to sit down and say, train for lifestyle, not ego. Make sure you're doing exercises correctly. If you're uncertain, ask an instructor, look on the interweb, and just see how to do these exercises properly, because that's the important part of it. That's how you prevent injury, and that's also how you make sure that you train the muscle throughout the whole range of its movement. Anyway, that was it. Again, another ramble, switching all over the place, but the key piece was ego versus lifestyle and the training that we do for each of those. All right, guys, well, enjoy. If you like this video, click the like button. If you want to hear more, click the subscribe button. But we'll keep posting these as we go through, and hopefully you enjoy it. If you do have an idea about what you want me to research or you want my opinion on, then put it in the comments section and we'll go from there. Anyway, guys, take care and we'll chat soon. Bye-bye.